E-learning note taking. Today we're going to practice taking notes off of video lessons. If you had Mr. McKenzie or Mrs. King or even me last year, um, you did do notes off of video lessons, and there's just some things that I want to review with you as we will be going back to this for a little bit. If you haven't done this before, then there's things that I want to outline for you to make sure that you're doing while you take these notes. So in the assignment where this video is, I gave you a couple options. I sent you Google Slides of these Cornell Note pages, so you could be typing on these as we go. I also said you could print them if you have access to a printer. And if neither of those things are to your liking, just a piece of notebook paper you can make look like a copy of Cornell Notes, and you can write things down as they come up. So your note should have a title. E-learning note taking is our title. They will always have a learning target, just like the note packets I give you. And by the end of today, you should be able to take notes from video lessons and then turn in a copy of those notes to me so I can see them. And I'll explain a little more why as we go through the note-taking process as to why I'd like to see your notes. All right, so how do I take notes from a video? You're going to have your note page ready to go, whatever that may be, and you're going to queue up that video through the YouTube link provided on the assignment. So the video link will always be part of the assignment. And then we'll get those materials ready. The materials are in the following steps, so follow these steps. Get yourself in a quiet place to work. Use headphones so that all you're hearing is the teaching that I'm doing, and all that you're seeing is what's on the screen. Okay, get your focus ready to go. You will need some place to take notes. So whether that's a printed copy, if you're going to do it on the Google Slides, or on your own paper. Okay, and then set it up to look like the page. Use a ruler. Be neat, be precise. Take pride in your work. These notes are going to be your main teacher, so they have to be clear and make sense to you. I will be available to help you through email and some video meetings like this, but the main thing that you're going to be relying on is the notes that you take. Step 3, you need something to write with. You know that I prefer it to be a pencil, but whatever you're using is fine. Have multiple colors handy and highlighters. 8th graders, when we did our transformations unit, the multiple colors were very handy to see how the shapes moved on the coordinate plane. And 7th graders, when we worked with our triangles, the angles and sides making the arcs and tick marks, the multiple colors helped to differentiate between those. So have all those things ready to go. The next step, I try to keep the video short. It is meant for you to take your time to pause and rewind if you need to hear something again. This next part is really important. That's why it's in a different color, and I will try to do that in the notes, kind of highlight things in a different way. Use the sound, because all of what is said is not necessarily written out for you. It's very important. I will say things that might not be typed out or written out, and you need to then write those important things down, okay? So listen to the sound. Don't just think you can look and be listening to music and write down what you see. Number 5 is also in a different color. Really important. Already been said, but doesn't hurt to say it again. Listen first and then pause to write. So you're going to listen to the teaching and then pause and write it down. You can write it word for word, how you see it on the screen, or put it in your own words. A good note taker is able to do that, to change things into their own words to make it make sense for them. Use abbreviations, whatever works best for you. But listen first, pause the video, and then write. All right, and then the final step, which this is more because we're not in class and the direct teaching is not happening. If something doesn't make sense, write yourself a question. You have these side columns. We're going to try to leave those open most of the time. So you could write a question in there. You could circle something in the notes that doesn't make sense to you, and then write yourself a reminder kind of few words question to the side. But having the questions written will help when we do meet, when we are able to talk, or if you email me to have it organized and say, hey, when you were teaching two-step equations, you lost me on the third step, okay? The more specific you can be, the more helpful I can be when that question comes. But I would like you to write questions if you have them, so that when I do see copies of your notes, I can help and address those questions before we get to the practice. Now I am going to want to see copies of your notes. So the second part of today's lesson, how do I turn in a copy of my notes? We practiced that the last couple days. We practiced taking a picture and uploading. That was yesterday's assignment. If you need assistance, I made a PDF. It's on the classwork tab of your Google Classroom right at the top under resources. So you can click on that PDF. So if you're taking notes by hand today, you will take a picture of them. You will upload that picture to this assignment, and then you will turn it in. And if you have any questions, I'll see those questions somewhere in your notes on the side, maybe directly where you take notes, but I'll be able to see those questions within your notes. Okay, if you're using the Google Slide to type on today, same thing. We did this the other day. So I have the instruction sheet as a PDF on the classwork tab in your Google Classroom. This is new, so it might take some time to remember how to do it, and that's why those PDFs are there. But remember with the Google Slide, you always retain a copy. It's in your Google Drive. So you're turning in a copy to me, but you still have a copy in your drive. It doesn't go away. You're not losing those notes. So don't be afraid if you're doing it on the computer that you turn it in to me, you won't have them back, okay? They are in your drive. You can go to your little Google Drive icon and pull those out. You'll have a title on them. It would say e-learning, taking notes and turning in with your name on it, okay? So one of these two ways, you're going to turn these notes into me, and I will make some comments and get that back to you. If you have any questions, remember, write them on your notes.